Hello everyone. Come July 30th and we have another retrograde with the planet Chiron. And Chiron is a planet which actually heals us from within. It also tells us how listening to our wounds unleashes the wisdom within us. From July 30th, 2025 until January 2nd, 2026, Chiron will move retrograde through the fierce and pioneering sign of Aries again. So this extended journey calls for deep introspection, offering a rare opportunity to reflect on the personal wounds that have shaped us and to begin the process of profound healing. So while Chiron traverses Aries, the invitation is to examine the themes around our individuality, courage, and the way we assert our true selves in the world. This period is not meant for rushing or seeking quick fixes. It is a time to slow down, listen, and gently uncover the pain or insecurities we may have hidden beneath layers of bravado or independence. Allow this retrograde to become a guiding light for inner work. Through honest reflection and heartfelt presence, we are given the chance to transform old stories of pain into new pathways of growth and authenticity. So the alchemy of Chiron in Aries asks us to meet ourselves with compassion, to honor both our wounds and our warrior spirit, and to discover that true strength is born not from perfection, but from wholehearted acceptance of what makes us human. So as the stars shimmer quietly overhead and the world slows its pace, a subtle cosmic shift unfolds. Chiron, the wounded healer of the zodiac, turns retrograde. This gentle but powerful celestial movement invites each one of us to embark on an inner pilgrimage, one that asks not for haste but for honesty and grace. The call of Chiron's retrograde is clear. It's time to listen to our wounds, to honor the hurts we carry, and to discover the sacred wisdom seated within our pain. Basically setting the stage, understanding the Chiron's energy. Now Chiron is not just another planetary body orbiting the sun. Chiron embodies the archetype of the healer who through their own wounds and sufferings learns the profound art of compassion. So Chiron's myth is one of paradox. Unable to heal their own wound, Chiron becomes the most gifted healer, teacher and guide for others. See, we can always empathize with the other people, especially when we know we've undergone the circumstances ourselves. And this in retrospect, you heal one another. So when Chiron moves retrograde, its energy turns inward. We are invited to pause, to reflect, and to revisit the chapters of our life that still ache or whisper from the edges of memory. This is not an easy journey. It asks us for courage, vulnerability, and the willingness to face what we may have buried or we may have just put it behind our shoulders just to overlook it. Yet it is in the sacred turning inward that true healing becomes possible. So addressing those wounds is important to put a closure eventually. So why it's important to listen to and address our wounds? Let me help you to understanding that. Unhealed wounds shape our present. Our unresolved hurts often echo through our lives. They color our perceptions, shape our relationships, and influence the stories we tell about ourselves. By not listening, we risk allowing past pain to quietly dictate our present and our future. There's wisdom in pain. Every wound holds a lesson, a deeper truth about who we are, what we need, and where we have yet to grow. So when we turn away from our pain, we turn away from the possibility of self-discovery and transformation. True healing requires presence. Healing is not about forgetting, suppressing, or denying what has hurt us. It is about meeting our pain with presence, compassion, and the attention to, or the intention to understand. So only then can the wound be transformed from a source of suffering into a wellspring of wisdom. So I would talk about the invitation of Chiron retrograde this way, that as Chiron moves in retrograde motion, its invitation is both gentle and profound. It asks us to slow down and notice the subtle feelings we might easily overlook in the busyness of daily life. This retrograde period is a spiritual checkpoint. It's a time to notice the recurring emotional patterns and triggers that rise. We reflect on the roots of our pain and the stories that we tell about ourselves. So you need to practice radical self-compassion as you explore your inner landscape. Seek meaning and insight from the lessons your wounds have to offer. So we have to face our past with courage. Facing our wounds isn't about reliving the past. It's about bringing fresh light and perspectives into old shadows. Chiron retrogrades encourages us not just to remember, but to remember. That is, to gently gather the lost, hurt or fragmented pieces of ourselves and welcome them back into wholeness. Ask yourself, where in my life do I still feel the sting of old hurt? What stories do I carry about my pain? Am I a victim, a survivor, a teacher, or something else? How have I grown because of what I have endured? And the healing journey does begin with lessons and growth. So healing through Chiron retrograde is less about fixing and more about learning. So here's how this period helps us transform pain into wisdom. The first is through awareness and acknowledgement. The first step is awareness, becoming conscious of what hurts. This might mean allowing yourself to feel what you've numbed, or naming the ache you've carried perhaps for years. In shining a gentle light on our pain, we give ourselves permission to heal. Next comes compassionate witnessing. The act of compassionate witnessing wants you to sit down with your wound without judgment or impatience. Chiron retrograde teaches us that healing cannot be rushed. Like a gentle healer, we must tend to our hurt places with kindness, patience, and understanding. We reframe the narrative. What if your pain is not a sign of weakness but of resilience? What if the wounds you carry mark not what you've lost but what you've survived and overcome? Chiron retrograde offers the chance to reframe our stories, seeing ourselves not as victims or broken, but as beautiful carved human beings, shaped but not defined by what we endured or survived. It actually makes you feel proud of yourself. Then integration and release. Healing is not about erasing the past, but integrating its lessons. As you move through Chiron's retrograde, you may find that some hurts simply soften. Others may teach you what boundaries to set, what dreams to pursue, or what compassion you now offer others. The process may involve rituals, journaling, meditation, or sharing your journey with a trusted friend or a therapist. So with each act of mindful attention, you weave your pain into the larger tapestry of your selfhood, releasing what no longer serves and honoring the gifts your wounds have given you. Emergence and renewal. So as the retrograde period draws to a close, you may find yourself lighter, more wholesome, and deeply attuned to your own story. Proud of yourself. Chiron's medicine is quiet but profound. It is the wisdom of having faced yourself honestly and learned to love yourself through your scars. And also lessons are learned which are beneficial for you for the future. So out of the pain comes empathy, out of empathy, connection, and from connection, the possibility of a new chapter. And perhaps not repeating the same mistakes that caused that pain. There are practical ways to work with Chiron retrograde. So journaling. Write about the wounds or the memories that arise during this time. Ask yourself what each pain is trying to teach you. Meditation and mindfulness. Practice sitting with your feelings without trying to change them. Notice how they shift and evolve as you bring gentle awareness. Creative expressions. Channel your emotions into art, music, or movement. Sometimes creativity allows us to process pain in ways words cannot reach. Seeking support. Reach out to a trusted friend, therapist, or spiritual guide. Sharing your story can be profoundly healing, and you might discover you're not alone in your struggles. There are rituals of release. Consider lighting a candle, writing a letter to your past self, or creating a small ceremony to symbolizing letting go. Honor the journey you've made and the lessons you've learned. So in conclusion, I would say embracing the wisdom of the wounded healer. Chiron Retrograde is a sacred invitation to meet yourself at your most honest and vulnerable. It's a time for tending to the inner landscape, for listening deeply to the wisdom encoded in your pain, and for allowing healing to root itself gently within your heart. Remember, closure is not forgetting. It is weaving your pain into the story of who you are, an ever-evolving soul, radiant in your authenticity and strengthened by your journey. As you honor the lessons of your wounds, you create space within for more compassion, resilience, and joy. So as Chiron retraces its path across the sky, grant yourself permission to do the same. Revisit, reflect, and renew. Trust the process, embrace the learnings, and step forward lighter, wiser, and whole. The stars bear witness to your healing. May you walk gently in the light. So if you find yourself yearning for deeper insight or tailored guidance as you travel your own path, know that you do not have to journey alone. I welcome you to reach out for an individualized, personalized reason designed to illuminate your unique story and help you discover clarity. Together we can unravel the patterns of the past and refocus your energy on embracing the fullness of your life. My purpose is to help you move forward, empowered, unburdened, and open to all the beauty the present moment can hold. Life is not meant to be lived in the shadows of what was, but in the vibrant possibility of what can be. So let's walk this path of renewal together. Stay tuned for my next video on how each zodiac can course correct and put closures to whatever troubles during the Chiron retrograde and become wiser and happier. Always stay blessed.